Welcome back, everybody, to our Midwestern Dynasty, where we have just 2 games to go in the regular season. So here today, we are going to be getting through both of them and finishing it off. We took on the Ole Miss Rebels in our first game. They are out of the SEC, so we knew that this game it would not be easy. Austin Simmons, the Rebels quarterback, he would be sacked by Eric Lamb, who is trying to show that he can compete against better competition. He is in the running for a few awards. After the sack, Austin Simmons, he's going to lob the ball down the field, have his pass deflected by Juan Leverett, and the ball would land in the arms of LaMarcus Pettigrew, who would get his first interception of the season. That would set us up with some great starting field position. We would drive the ball down the short field, get the ball goal to go at the 2, and on 3rd and goal, Jordan Jones is going to throw his 9th touchdown of this season. It goes to Devin Gentry, the true freshman wide receiver who gets his first receiving touchdown of his career. He did have a punt return touchdown earlier this season. Late in the second quarter, Jones on 3rd and 8 in the red zone is going to drop a dime into George Barr to keep a drive alive and make it goal to go. At the 1 unseconded goal, after a fake deciser, nobody was covering Paul Schuler, so Jones, he just flipped it out to him, and that would be the 10th passing touchdown for Jordan Jones on the season and 2nd of this game. That would put us up 14-0 in the first half. Ole Miss, they did not want to be shut out in the first half. They would move the ball down the field, and on 3rd and 10 at the 25, Austin Simmons would throw his 16th touchdown of the season. That would cut the lead in half and make it 14-7. We did have all our timeouts and a bit of time left, but we probably were trying to do too much. We would end up throwing an interception. It would be picked off by Cyril Toole, and that would give Ole Miss a chance to steal some points. And at the end of the first half, they would just send their kicker out right away in Vernon Casey, and the sophomore, he would miss from 50 yards out, so we would get lucky, and the game would remain 14-7. In the third quarter, Ole Miss with the ball at midfield. Austin Simmons, after a play-action fake, he would let it rip, and he would throw a 50-yard touchdown to Jamerson, who burned LaMarcus Pettigrew, and that would tie the game up at 14. We would move the ball down the field, getting late in the third quarter, and Avery Sizer, he is going to run this in for a short touchdown, his 9th touchdown of this season. That would give us the lead right back. But Ole Miss, they had a quick answer for us as well. They would run the ball with it goal to go, and Marquis Droge would cap the drive off with his 3rd touchdown of the season. So all tied at 21. The Rebels, they got a quick stop. We would hit their quarterback Austin Simmons, driving him backwards, but he would stay on his feet and throw one of the best touchdowns I've seen in this game. It would go to Jamerson, and that would give Ole Miss their first lead of the game. Another quick 3-and-out from us, and Ole Miss, they would run a quick hitter with the ball goal to go, and that would be the 4th touchdown pass of the game for Austin Simmons as Ole Miss increased their lead. Time starting to become a factor. We were down by 2 scores. We would drive the ball down the field and score a short touchdown. That would be punched in there by Darrell F., his 8th rushing touchdown this season. It would make it a 1-score game late. So we needed our defense to come up with a stop, and unfortunately, they would not be able to. Simmons would go to White, and it would be a 72-yard touchdown, the 5th touchdown pass of the game for Austin Simmons, as Ole Miss went back up by 2 scores in the 4th quarter. So we were running out of time and had to put together a quick drive. That means we were taking chances down the field, and one of them would get picked off. It would be intercepted, and that would pretty much seal the game. The only question is, would it be a pick 6? It would not. We'd at least prevent that, but it would end the game, and we would lose 42-28, giving up 28 points in the 4th quarter and 35 points in the second half. We were up 14-0 at one point late in the second quarter, but after that, Austin Simmons, he must have flipped some sort of switch because he turned up his play to a whole nother level. He nearly had 400 yards passing against us, almost had an 80% completion percentage against us, and he tossed 5 touchdowns against our defense that had 4 sacks, 14 TFLs, and a pick. It just didn't matter that we were getting all those sacks and TFLs because for every single one that we got, the Ole Miss offense, it was able to more than make up for the lost yardage on them by hitting a big play. Our offense, it did have a couple of turnovers, but those turnovers, it didn't really help out the Ole Miss offense. It wasn't giving them short fields. They were waiting the first half and waiting the fourth quarter, and Ole Miss didn't score on either of them. So the offense, it wasn't great in this game, but they weren't terrible. The defense, it just gave up way too many big plays for us to get the win. So Ole Miss gets the win and we take the loss. We're now 6-5 on the season, 5-2 in conference. We're behind UTEP, who are guaranteed to make the conference championship game as they beat us head-to-head earlier in the season. So their last game of the regular season, it does not matter. The only way that we can make the conference championship game is if Jacksonville State loses to Western Kentucky and we win our last regular season game of the year, and then it would have to come down to some sort of tiebreaker that we beat Jacksonville State in. But first of all, we got to win our own game. We're going to be taking on Liberty, who are 7-4 on this season, and they have won 5 of their last 6 games, so they are playing much better in the second half of the season. They have a pretty good roster with good players on both sides of the ball, like James Joyner Jr. at running back and TJ Bush as an edge rusher. So we're going to be having our hands full here in our final game of the regular season. We'll see if we can get a win in it and make the conference championship game, or at the very least, a strong end of the regular season. Midwestern is going to begin this drive backed up near their own end zone. Shields will make a catch on 3rd and 5 and run by a Liberty defender who took a poor angle. That'll be a 20-yard gain and a first down. McLeod heading across the formation. Sizer, he's going to run straight ahead and run a defender over on his way to the 45-yard line as he picks up 15 yards on the ground. 3rd and 11, a bunch right look from the Horned Owls. Jones is going to lob over the middle. It is pulled in by Paul Schuler, who makes a diving grab, and that will allow this drive to continue. Across midfield, Jones has a man wide open. That is Joey Hammer, who's got a lot of room. He is going to be wrestled out of bounds with a first down and more as he's out of bounds at the 21. Goal to go at the 4 on 3rd down. It is Darrell F. right side. He's going to have an easy walk-in touchdown. His 9th rushing touchdown of this season. And Midwestern, they go 95 yards on this drive in 15 plays, using up most of the first quarter, and they'll end it with a touchdown. Down 7-0. Here is James Joyner Jr., the top running back for Liberty and one of their best players and one of the best running backs in the country. They'll take it near midfield on a big run. After the big run by James Joyner Jr., they go back to him. He's into the second level, and he's inside the 20. He may go. He is going to throw off Josh Wood just outside the end zone and make it in. A 52-yard touchdown for James Joyner Jr., his 13th of the season. This game's tied at 7. The run defense, it has not been good for us all year, and it didn't look good there against James Joyner Jr. in this Liberty offense. Here is Darrell F. on his screen. He'll make a man miss with a spin and turn it from 2nd and 22 into 3rd and 7 as we are now at midfield. Jones is going to check this one down to Sizer, and he can't stay in bounds. He'll go to bounds right away after making the catch. So the Liberty offense, it just scored on 2 plays on their last drive. They are right back out there at their own 20. Jaden Bradford is picked off. Enrique Roundtree, the redshirt sophomore linebacker, has his first interception of his career. And for Jaden Bradford, he has now thrown as many interceptions this season as he has touchdowns, and that would be 15 of them. Not a good look for him. On 3rd down, Jones is going to hit Bromell. He'll turn upfield and be tackled inside the 10. At the 8-yard line, it's going to be goal to go. 1st and goal for the Horned Owls, who are trying to take advantage of the turnover, and they will. Avery Sizer, he'll take it in for his 10th rushing touchdown of the season, and that ties his rush touchdown total from last year, where he was a true freshman, so we'll see if he can surpass that total here today by getting at least one more. Here's James Joyner Jr. running to the right side. He's going to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage by Enrique Roundtree, already his 2nd TFL of the game. 3rd and 11 for the Liberty Flames. Bradford backing up. He's going to check it down to Bo Burklow, and the tight end is not going to get the first down. He'll go down short of it. So the Midwestern offense, they're on the field at their own 24, facing 1st and 20. A pass is going to be caught by Schuler, who is going to slow up for a second, but he'll eventually take off and run for a first down after making the catch. Just shy of midfield. Jones looking around and throwing to his left. It's going to be Sizer making the catch. He's going to weave and allow Bromell to shield the defender, and Sizer with a huge gain after the catch. Midwestern at the 27 of Liberty. Jones is sliding to his left, trying to let somebody get free. He'll make a throw on the move. It is out of reach for Nick Shields, right near the end zone. Those two are just not on the same page on that play. Here is Steven Spears on to try a 44-yard field goal, and the redshirt senior kicker is going to make it and set a new career long with that 44-yard make. We have a chance to double dip as we do get the ball to begin the third quarter, up 17-7. Terrell F is going to run inside and make it up past the 40 as he goes down at the 43-yard line. Just across midfield, it'll be a toss left side to Sizer. He gets some good blocking, has the first down, runs a defender over, fights another off with a stiff arm, and he's got the speed to take it the rest of the way. 46 yards to the end zone goes Avery Sizer on one of the best runs we have seen not just this season, but in the entire history of Midwestern. He is going to score here and make it 24-7. And for Avery Sizer, he now has 11 touchdowns this season and 23 in his career. He did have some great blocking on this play, especially by our two tight ends that were out there in Joey Hammer and George McLeod. But he had a head of steam on that run, and a nice truck and a nice stiff arm. We now have ourselves a 3-score lead. Midwestern on offense again, but not for long, as Jones is going to be drilled and sacked for the third time today. He'll feel that hit definitely. Liberty on offense now after a quick possession from Midwestern. A throw down the field is going to be caught by Mac Johnston. Found the hole in our defense. Now the Flames at the 12-yard line of Midwestern. James Joyner Jr., he's going to run inside the 5 and nearly get his second touchdown of the game. He'll be upended just outside the end zone. Goal to go at the 3. Joyner met in the backfield, and down he goes. Darius Moore, the redshirt senior defensive tackle, stuffs him. Third and goal at the 6. Bradford is going to go underneath. It is caught by Burklow, and he fights his way in for a touchdown as Liberty is going to make it 24-14. And for Burklow, he now has 4 touchdowns this season. Midwestern in danger of going 3 and out. Jones hit as he went to go, and the ball will fall to the ground incomplete. Midwestern is going to go 3 and out, and Liberty, they have a chance to make this a 1-score game if they could score on this drive. Bradford is going to fake a flip, and he's going to be sacked by Enrique Roundtree, who is having himself a great game. He's got a sack now, has a couple of TFLs, and of course has an interception. Third down. Bradford with time. He'll go underneath, short of the sticks, and Burklow cannot get the job done. He'll be tackled by Scales. We'll shy the first down. So Midwestern a chance to add on here as we are now in the fourth quarter. Jones is going to go up top, going for it all. It is underthrown and incomplete. Nice pass breakup by Jamal Miles. George Barr was the intended target. He was open behind the defense, but Jones just doesn't have the arm to make that play. Here's a flip to Dylan Washington, and the redshirt freshman wide receiver is going to take it across midfield as he's down at the 43 of the Horned Owls. On 1st and 10. It'll be a fake to Joyner. Bradford is going to be sacked. Enrique Roundtree in on another sack with a couple of other Midwestern defenders. On 3rd and 16 for the Liberty Flames, who need a play here. Time for Bradford. He's going to step up and slide down well shy of the first down. Too far to go for it and too early to go for it. So the Flames will end up punting it away. Midwestern facing 3rd and 1. Terrell F. He's got the first down easy. And is going to go down just shy of midfield as he's over 50 yards on the ground in this one. 3rd and 6. Sizer. He's going to run it and not get the first down. He'll go down a yard short of it. Make it 4th and 1. Midwestern, they're going to go for it. Trying to get the first down and keep this drive going. Darrell F. is going to bob and weave. And he will eventually get the first down as he is able to keep this drive going. In the red zone at the 18, Sizer left side is met in the backfield on 3rd and short. He'll end up losing a yard and make it 4th down. The Horned Owls are going to try a 41-yard field goal. Spears' kick is good, so not only did he make a 44-yard field goal earlier, makes a 41-yard field goal here as well. It's now 27-14, and time is really becoming a factor. Liberty is running at a time. A big play for Dylan Washington, the redshirt freshman, makes it across midfield. Later on the drive, they are now in the red zone, but under 40 seconds remain. A shot to the end zone. It's going to be intercepted. Ben Edmonds has his second interception of the season, and that is going to be the dagger. The Horned Owls are going to come out victorious here over the Flames on the road, winning their final regular season game of the year as they win 27-14. Player of the game, that's going to be Avery Sizer or Enrique Roundtree. They end up saying Avery Sizer, who did have a great game, had that amazing touchdown run and 2 touchdowns in the game. But Enrique Roundtree, he really had his best game of his young career. Had a bunch of TFLs, had a pick, had a sack and a half. There was also some great production from Thomas Smits and George Scales on defense, who racked up 10 tackles each. And then Ben Edmonds, he had the interception at the end of the game, and was a dagger in this one. Not much to talk about when it comes to our pass offense. Jordan Jones had 173 yards passing and was not very efficient. Missed some chances down the field. Addison Bynum was great as a run blocker, and that's really his worst ratings are his run block ratings, so great to see him getting 11 pancake blocks as he helped pave the way for Avery Sizer and Darrell Leff, who combined for 34 carries, 187 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Enrique Roundtree, he ends up earning CUSA and National Defensive Player of the Week honors with his performance of 4 TFLs, a sack and a half, and a pick. He is definitely a player that we're going to have to look at getting some more playing time next season. Didn't really play a ton this year, and that's really because his coverage ratings are not amazing. We can't have him out in the field a ton, and we know the other team is going to be throwing it. But if he can get those coverage ratings up a little bit more, then we can put him on the field some more, and he'll make some more plays for us, hopefully. Ben Edmonds has been our #1 corner all year long. I don't think he's really been great this year, but he also hasn't been terrible. He's been perfectly fine. I hope that he can have a huge offseason here and develop into an even better player. He's got star development with some pretty good skill cap ratings and a lot of room to improve, so hopefully he can get a lot better this offseason. We have a great 1-2 punch at running back with Avery Sizer, who has now 6 touchdowns in our last 4 games and has had a better year this year than he had last year. There's Darrell Leff, who has a touchdown in 6 straight games and has been really good and gotten the majority of the workload in our backfield because he's a better pass catcher than Avery Sizer is. But the thing is, our backfield, it may already be really good this year with Darrell Leff and Avery Sizer, but it's going to be getting even better next year because those two are going to be back and they'll develop and be even better players. But also, Von Clifton is going to be in the mix. He's a 4-star prospect that we have already gotten to commit to us. So I'm very excited to see what this backfield looks like next year. The thing that we needed to happen, it did not happen for us. Jacksonville State, they smoke Western Kentucky 47-3. So it is going to be Jacksonville State taking on UTEP in the CUSA Championship Game. UTEP, they actually lost their last game of the regular season. So had we just defeated UTEP earlier in the year, we would be the ones playing in the conference championship game against Jacksonville State, not them. But we lost to them head-to-head, so they earned it. It'll be them instead of us. We should at least be making a bowl game, I believe, because we did finish 3rd in the conference. Before we figure out what we're going to be doing here, we're going to be going over some commitments that we got. Michael Edmonds, he's a gem defensive tackle, a top 500 player in this recruiting class, who is a very good athlete, and I believe could actually play for us as a true freshman. Don't be surprised if we do not redshirt him, and we just let him be out there in obvious passing situations with Okoye, because those two would be a nasty 1-2 punch as interior defensive lineman pass rushing. Jimmy McCrane, he's a 3-star tight end, a gem, another one. He is somebody that I fully expect to be redshirted unless we have a major problem when it comes to transfers at tight end. We already have Joey Hammer and Paul Schuler, who are both going to be back with us next season, I believe. So McCrane, he can be redshirted and develop for a year or 2. George Handy, first off, great name. Secondly, he is a run-blocking power guard. That is a gem. I don't exactly know if he's going to be playing for us right away. Probably not. More than likely, he's another type of player that we redshirt and might develop for a season or 2 and then could be a big part of our offensive line. Look at what happened in the conference championship games. Jacksonville State, to nobody's surprise, they ended up blowing out UTEP 34-13, and they have won the CUSA title game. Quick look at who has made the 2026 college football playoffs. Kansas State, they end up making it, and they also have the Heisman-winning quarterback in Avery Johnson, who had a fantastic season. We did not win a single award, but we did have a couple of players that finished as a finalist for an award, or in Eric Lamb's case, he finished as a finalist for 3 different awards, but won none of them. The closest he got was 2nd, and that was for the Best Defensive End award. George Scales, he finished in 5th place for the Best Defensive Back award. And then there was Seth Hearns, who also finished in 5th place, but for the Best Punter award. Moving on to the All-American list, we had just one National All-American, and that was Darrell F., who made the All-Freshman team. As for the All-Conference teams, we had one first-teamer, that is Avery Sizer, and one second-teamer in Darrell F. Now you may be wondering, where the hell is Eric Lamb? How did he not get voted to a single All-American or All-Conference team? I just don't understand that. How did he not make at least the All-Conference team? But there's also George Scales. George Scales didn't make even the All-Freshman team, even though he's a freshman redshirt, and we had other freshman redshirt make it. So those two got completely snubbed, in my opinion. We did have quite a few players make the All-Conference USA freshman team, but I don't think we had enough players making it, and definitely not enough players making the All-Conference team. I just don't get why Eric Lamb didn't make it. He had plenty of stats and finished in the running for the Best Defensive End award. So if you're in the running for that and you finish second, how do you not even make your own conference team? 11.5 sacks and 20 TFLs, that's not good enough? George Scales finished in 5th for the Best Defensive Back award, but he couldn't even make the All-Freshman Conference team. So broken voting, I guess, going on for those All-American teams. We have a couple of more commits to go over. One of them is Carter Roche, who is very similar to a player that we just brought in the last recruiting cycle, being Quinston Smith. They are both athletes that are going to be offensive linemen that have good strength and athleticism. So we'll worry about where he's going to play later. He could play center, could play guard. We'll just redshirt him and let him develop for a year, maybe two, and see where he ends up at ratings-wise. Keyshawn Edmonds, a 6'5" wide receiver who is a gem. He's got 94 jumping, 91 speed. The rest of the ratings don't really matter, in my opinion, when you got the combination of height, jumping, and speed. You can work on the rest of the stuff later. You're probably going to be pretty good. Titus Dingle, very similar in the fact that he's a big wide receiver, not as good as a jumper as Edmonds is, but he's got more speed. Those two players are probably going to be competing for some playing time next year because there's going to be some playing time available at wide receiver with Ramel likely transferring away. Dion Gage, this is maybe the best player that we are going to be bringing in. He is just a crazy athlete. 78 zone, 87 speed, 75 block shedding, good acceleration, good strength, probably going to be a linebacker, and I would not be surprised if he ends up playing for us right away. We should have a really good linebacker room next season. Gordon Sheed is the last one we have to talk about. He's a cornerback. That is a position that I did want to add some more talent into in this recruiting class, and he's a gem, a 6'1" corner with 90 speed, not great zone, so likely a player that we will redshirt and let develop for a year or two, but eventually he should be a huge part of our defense. I can't say I'm too thrilled about this. We are going to be taking on the Sam Houston Bearcats in the New Orleans Bowl, so yes, we have to play a conference opponent in the bowl game that we made and a team that we already played in the regular season. We did lose to them, so I guess it's a chance at revenge for us, chance to avenge the loss we suffered to them earlier in the season. But still, you couldn't give us anybody else. Whatever, we'll play them. Hopefully we could beat them and have some momentum heading into the offseason to get some revenge for the loss we took to them earlier in the season. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.